Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Neiman and Judy Ritchie.
Hello and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you in the community know how you can lend a helping hand to an agency or a program in need. I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels.
And I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center. And aren't you excited? It is the month of March, which means St. Patty's Day, which means spring, which means look at the flowers in our greenery. We're all getting excited that the snow is going away and we can have spring and do all of that planning. So we're glad that you could be with us for the March edition of Helping Hands. We want to thank our sponsors, our monetary sponsor, which is Aurora Healthcare, and also then our set design, which is graciously sponsored by Harnix Floral on 9th. Thank you for being with us. We have a wonderful guest today who's going to share a lot of information with us on not only the place where she works, but how the place where she works encourages volunteers and what her great staff does. So, Judy, would you like to introduce her?
I would, and she is a good friend. This is Cheryl Sina with 4 Imprint, and those of you that have been in the community a while, it was Nelson Marketing, which became 4 Imprint, and is international in scope.
Yeah, we are.
And we are, John and I are always looking for volunteers. And with 4 Imprint, you have a ready pool of volunteers, and you have a corporate structure, philosophy that really encourages volunteerism.
Yeah, they do. That is one of the really excellent things about working at 4 Imprint is they really have the philosophy of giving back to the community, being an active participant in the community, not only in Oshkosh where we are located, but in the communities in which all of our associates are a part of. So we have, associates that come from Fond du Lac, Appleton, east and west, every direction. So we want to be in those communities as well. And part of that is asking our associates to be involved in those communities and by providing 8 hours of paid vacation time each year so that they can become involved. And it can be a variety of things. It can be reading at your child's school, sponsoring or going on a field trip with your kids, and like your organizations, helping out with other nonprofit organizations. We have some associates that volunteer for Meals on Wheels.
Yes, we do. We've got 3 of them over there.
Yep. And there's a lot of them that are very active in hospital situations and involved with that stuff. So by giving the associates the 8 hours of paid time off, they're able to become involved in activities that take place Monday through Friday. They don't have to just volunteer on a weekend.
Do you find, and I know what your answer is going to be, do you find that your people are volunteering more than 8 hours because it's not the money, it's not getting the time off paid, but they're doing more?
Absolutely. It's kind of like just you have that 8 hours to first start with an organization sometimes, and you realize that this is something I really want to be a part of and become passionate for that cause, which just helps develop more, because then when we have an associate that comes back and said, oh my God, I just had the best time volunteering for this group, they next time may take another associate with them or a family member. And that's really another thing, is that you get associates who take family who aren't, 4 Imprint employees, so it's spreading not only internally but externally as well. And it's the ripple effect. It just becomes
absolutely
a bigger community.
Do you want to talk about, you had a volunteer fair in January. Do you want to talk about that, why you did it, who came, what were the results?
Sure. We started off with kind of a small group of organizations within the community that we've had other contacts with as a trial basis to see what it would be like if we could touch base with associates and agencies that needed volunteers. I think it was pretty well received. We had a nice stream of associates that came through and made contacts. We were able to put those people right there in touch, and people who had thought about maybe volunteering with something but weren't really sure had a chance to go down and talk to representatives and get a feel for things. And I know a lot of associates that I did talk to that gave me feedback said, oh, now I want to do this and I want to do that, you know. And so it really becomes more involved, and hopefully we'll be able to have another one a little bit larger, you know, in the future.
And I was one of those agencies that was there, and I didn't go out to the distribution center because of my own schedule, but it was interesting to hear the comments coming through, and the two young gals from out in the Watoma area.
Mm-hmm.
And when they discovered that cerebral palsy has a respite house in Watoma, that they could be volunteering out there in their home community instead of staying longer in Oshkosh. And it was just like, oh, and I could take my son, or, you know, things like that, which is really good.
And it does. It really, it also helps those that family values and core values, and it teaches them at a young age to start giving back.
And you're actually doing what our show is trying to do. We started the show 12 years ago trying to highlight different things that go on in our community that people may not know about, not-for-profit agencies or volunteer opportunities. And that's what basically you're doing with your employees. You're letting agencies come in, talk about what they do, and spread the knowledge to your people who I think just to work at 4imprint, you have to be outgoing and adventurous and all that, because everyone I meet from 4imprint, they're that way.
It's
they're
a great group.
They're
it really
kind
is.
and caring and compassionate, and when you spoke to our AVA group, Alliance of Volunteer Agencies, in the fall, and you talked about the 1x1 program, did you see everybody's eyes and that lit up because they didn't know about it? Some of our new volunteer managers in Oshkosh at not-for-profits are new to this. So do you want to talk about the one? Is
Sure.
it one by one? One
Yeah.
by one, and what the program is and who's eligible and what you do? And
Sure. 1x1 is a program that 4imprint started about 7 years ago now. One of the things is that we noticed that with our customer base, we had a lot of organizations who were doing something to help someone else. And you know, the corporate philosophy is giving back, and the golden rule, and doing things as they should be done. So they started looking at what can we do to help those types of organizations. And so what they came up with is the 1x1 program. And with that program, what we do is we give a grant of $500 worth of promotional products to a charitable organization, school or religious organization. And initially it started off that we did one for every business day of the year. It has grown to the point now, in 2014, we did over 500 grants. So it's really being able to help organizations all across North America. Canada and U.S. is all taken care of here out of our Oshkosh office. The organization can submit an application on our website. It's 1x1.4imprint.com. It's basic information. You fill out an application that lets us know what you're looking at that is on your wish list for promotional products to order, how you want to use that to further your cause, whether it's awareness, to raise funds, thank volunteers, things like that are some of the most common ones. And then you tell us a little bit about your organization and the people that you help. And then you submit the application, and because the program has grown so nicely, it does take a few weeks for applications to be reviewed. And then those organizations that do receive the $500 grant are notified, and they can order the products then with their logo on them to their specifications, whatever it is. The organizations that may not get the grant, just simply because we do receive thousands of applications, we always try to help them out in some other form. It might be a discount on an order. It might be products that we have in-house. We have a lot of 4imprint logoed merchandise that we can use that way as well. One of those examples, and sometimes that's all that people want.
Right.
So we do a lot of things, backpacks and school supplies for back-to-school drives, water bottles for missionaries who are helping with water things overseas in third world countries. So we can really give back in a lot of ways, and that's really what the 1x1 program is is that every person makes a difference in any little thing that you do to help another individual. It will ripple.
And let's just say that Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels fills out an application and gets the grant. Let's see what they got.
Well, the first time we got hand sanitizers, thanks to Brent, because it was coming up on flu season and he felt every volunteer should have the sanitizers. And then we started running low on carrier bags that were appropriate. And he brought me, I had seen a couple things that I liked, and he brought me some samples. And from the samples, we chose a beautiful carrier bag, folds down nice and flat, but really does a good job of maintaining temperatures.
But the logo is so cool. Meals on Wheels, let's do lunch. That is...
And it's not the usual Meals on Wheels logo. People remember it because it's the two little
It's-
beavers chomping on the tree.
and it's just appropriate because
people remember it.
people deliver meals during lunch.
And not only that, but you have your number on it.
Our phone number is right
the
on it,
carriers
so-
are using it, they go, oh, how do I get a hold of them if I need the service?
So it really works well. And as a result of that, when our service club was doing a conference last year and looking at what types of things that, what could we use for a bag for all the things that we would be putting in at the beginning of conference, and volunteers within my service club who also volunteer for Meals on Wheels said, our bags are really nice. And it didn't take very long to convince the rest of the committee, and we got them. And what we did, or I did, is not only did we have them, and it was the Oshkosh on the Water logo, and there's an app for that, which was the theme of the conference. But we attached a hang tag that said that it had been donated by for imprint, some additional information. And then every time we handed a bag out, we said, and for imprint's office is just across the street or around the corner. And we had a lot of people, that really were interested. We made sure that there was information on how to access the website, how to do ordering on the one-by-one program. We did our best to promote for imprint while we were doing it because we were so grateful for it.
And I mean, one of the things that our best way of you saying thank you is referring another nonprofit organization that we can help somebody else, because that's really what it's all about, is getting those nonprofits who are helping somebody else to be able to grow and really help. And the more hands that we can touch by being able to help you do what you want to do makes our program that more valuable. It's really about the great work that the nonprofits are doing.
And we appreciate that a lot, especially when you open up your newspaper today and see some agency or system has to do budget cuts and has to do this. Not-for-profits have been doing that for years and having one person do 4 jobs, and they don't have the budget for, like you said, for some of these promotional items. You guys are good, as what you just said about, you have 4 imprint items out there that you will just give to an agency to use, and it makes a difference. The water bottles make a difference to someone. It's a way for us to say thank you to someone without breaking our budget in doing it, because it's things that we want to do, but we just don't have the money to do it. So I think we need to highlight agencies and organizations that really do support our community, and 4 Imprint has always been one of those. The parade, you guys are a fixture, you're a fixture in the parade.
Yep, every year our associates take time to do a parade for the holiday parade, and it really does become a whole rally around it, get involved and make it, and a lot of us go out and wait for the parade to go through, and things like that, but and it's really, we also have a lot of groups that get together to do causes together as well.
You were talking about a marathon cause that just,
yeah.
let's talk about that.
Okay, the last several years we've done a water booth for the Oshkosh Marathon. Every year there's also a competition as to the best themed water booth of the marathon. And there's a monetary payout that's awarded. In the last, I believe, 3 years in a row, the 4-Imprint Water Booth has done it. Everybody's kind of, champion the cause. So what we always do is we pick a theme. A few years ago we did a theme. It was chili, and we all had penguin type costumes on and stuff like that, and we donated the proceeds when we had one to the animal shelter. And then 2 years ago we did Boston Marathon theme, and we donated the proceeds when we won to the Boston Fund. And this last year we had some associates that were in a very severe car accident, so we donated the proceeds from that winnings to their family for the benefit.
So it really is the ripple effect too, because your people are out there volunteering, and they're bringing awareness to everyone of the cause, and then you happen to win 3 years in a row. I can imagine creativity, which is what they are, and then you're donating that to another agency. So it really is the idea of giving back. And I love that one by one, somebody can do that.
Yep.
Well, and you're missing out on the fact that 2 years ago they won the corporate volunteer award through the Evening of Stars, and because of their volunteerism in the community, the impact that they make on the community.
And I do want to say, I think your program does spur on other companies to do this also, because we were talking beforehand, there are some other companies out there that are doing this now, like US Bank and Hofmaster and Bemis, because they're seeing you guys kind of as a model of encouraging people. I love the volunteer fair idea to bring, because you guys are huge for Oshkosh, to bring in agencies to talk about what they do. That's the best PR for us that we could possibly get. And then these people are taking the information home to their families,
right,
and maybe volunteering there.
And the thing is that we do have a really great core of associates who are involved in their community. They're involved in giving back. They're the kind of people that you want to have in your organization. They're doers. But we're all busy. So being able to bring the organizations who were able to come in and spend some time with us, that made getting out into the community just a little bit easier for them, because they were already able to touch base, and now they don't have to research a contact. We've got it right there, and they're able to pick up a few business cards, get some ideas, and
now tell me, was the Humane Society there?
They weren't able to make it.
Oh, good. Nothing against the Humane Society, but when I'm at a volunteer fair and I'm there and you have the cute animals, I lose. I lose every time, because the animals are the biggest selling point. Who doesn't want to walk the dogs and take care of the animals? Is there anything, Ian is telling us we're down to about a minute, anything, Cheryl, that you want to say? Or
I would just encourage all organizations to go to our website, one by one at 4imprint.com. Fill out the application so that we can really help you to help your organization and achieve your goals and what you want to do to help others.
Well, and we also had the discussion that if we've got volunteer needs, that we can email them to you, and you have an internal newsletter.
Absolutely. We have, it's kind of like a digital announcement board that we can put announcements on. And so anybody that has volunteer needs, they could send them to us at one by one at 4imprint.com, just like the website, except for an @ sign there.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate you taking your time to come here today, and remember 4Imprint and giving back to our community one by one. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, and we'll be back for our second segment of our March edition of Helping Hands.
Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow. When we see a roundabout, take it slow. Then we pick the correct lane and take it slow. When we see a car approach, we yield to the left. When we're in that roundabout, we don't pass anybody yet. Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow.
Visit WisconsinRoundabouts.com for more info from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Wisconsin is losing our World War II veterans. If you were a World War II veteran, or you know one who hasn't gone on an honor flight to D.C., please help us. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association is partnering with all Wisconsin Honor Flight hubs to make sure every eligible vet remaining who served their country so selflessly gets the chance to go. It's time for them to see their memorial. It's time for their flight. To learn more or to make a donation, go to wisconsinhonorflight.org.
Welcome back to our March edition of Helping Hands. What a wonderful guest we had in our first segment, Cheryl from 4Imprint. We learned so much. There's so much that I have to do once this show is done. Got to go to One by One and sign up for that program. I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels. And again, March, all the rebirth, getting ready for spring, all the neat opportunities that we have in the community.
And we do want to talk about one. We were talking about volunteers and recognizing them. It's not too early to plan ahead. So actually, National Volunteer Recognition Week is April 12th through the 18th. So I know that Mercy has a big event that week for their volunteers. The Senior Center does, and so do I at Aurora. So put that on your calendars. Remember to thank those people who do volunteering for you. The week of April 12th through the 18th. Big plug for National Volunteer Recognition Week.
And we don't do a big event like you do, but I make sure that I'm out of the office and at Evergreen to meet my volunteers and do a meet and greet. And for some reason, they seem to like getting chocolates that week.
Imagine that.
And so we do things in a little bit more small scale, personal type, because not everybody comes to the parties. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we've kind of evolved over the years. One of the things that I'd like to bring up is we have the organizations that we talk about as the nonprofits, but we've got a lot of service clubs in the community. We've got Kiwanis, and we've got Rotary, the Optimist, Altrusa. So a lot of groups that are comprised of volunteers providing service to the community who do fundraising, and with that fundraising they fund scholarships and all sorts of other things in the community. So one that's a little near and dear to my heart is called Art in the Garden, sponsored by Altrusa Club, and it will be Saturday, March 28th and Sunday, March 29th at Hilton Garden. And it's People's Choice Awards. It's absolutely gorgeous art on display. There are a lot of art that is for sale. There's a big raffle. Then there's the special bag raffle where you get to buy the tickets and put them in for what you're interested in. And it's a really great fun weekend. And the proceeds come back to art scholarships and a lot of other programs that we support in the community.
And what a beautiful place to have it too at the Hilton. And the weather, I'm told, in March for this event is going to be simply wonderful. So
it is. There's all those gorgeous flowers.
Oh, what a
and
great
everything. I mean, you walk in and you are in the middle of a garden.
What a great time. There's one place I wanted to talk about too quickly is the Habitat for Humanity Restore. We have in town, we have wonderful places in town such as Goodwill, St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army. But the Habitat for Humanity Restore, if you haven't been there, again, it's volunteer driven, and the proceeds from the store help the Habitat for Humanity program to build the houses. And I think the goal for this year, I thought he said, was 4 homes.
There's several, yes.
Yes, either being built brand new or being restored or renovated. So if you haven't been there before on Kohler, I encourage you to go to the store not-for-profit. It's a wonderful place to also donate.
Absolutely.
To donate your items too. So one thing that we talked about in the other show too was we're looking for what you're doing in the community. Are you doing something different, something unique? Is there a place that we don't know about that's utilizing volunteers in a unique way? Please give myself a call at Aurora at 456-7013.
Or me, Judy, at Meals on Wheels, 651-3316. And we'll be glad to direct you to someplace. In fact, recently I had a call from the Aging and Disability Resource Center. A lady moved from California, knitted lap robes out there for eons. And when she came to this area, she didn't really know where she could donate them. She had talked to someone at the ADRC. They weren't really sure. So they said, call Judy. So I had a very nice chat for about 45 minutes one day, going over all the different places that would be happy to receive such. So we do a lot of that type of information and referral.
Right, and people will call us too and say, I have this to donate. Who will take this? Our not-for-profits live on donations. Judy has already mentioned the Teacher's Closet, which gives free to teachers any kind of school supplies for the room. There are people that need the tray favors, they need vases, magazines, yarn. If you have it and want to donate it and go green and recycle, call Judy or myself and we'll be glad to put you with the right organization. There's nothing more special than having the opportunity to give a patient in our hospital an Afghan or a prayer shawl. And when the Packers were doing good, the Packer hats that our ladies made, the fathers were taking them for the girls too. They wanted that Packer hat. And then we had one lady that makes Badger hats. And the Badgers were doing good at football and basketball. So, share your talents with our community, but let us know what you're doing and we'll be glad also to promote you here on our show. That's the purpose of the show. And like we said, this is our 12th season, which is remarkable because we both still look really good. So,
we're getting younger
yes,
and we're getting better.
Younger. Yeah, or is it all the makeup and the camera tricks that they're doing here? But we're really glad to be here and to share with you the guests that we've had too, especially like the one in our first segment, Cheryl from 4Imprint. You can tell that she really loves her job and loves what she wants to do in the community, and to tell all her coworkers about it, it's just great PR and advertising for us.
Well, and it was fun being at the volunteer fair because not only was I promoted individually, but I really was suggesting get a whole group of you together and take your turns volunteering.
That's true too.
And again, the ripple effect. It is so good to be able to talk to people. We have our passion with our program, but we have passion for the other programs in the community too.
Exactly. We support everyone. So thank you again for watching this March edition of Helping Hands. I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels. Thank you for joining us.